story how I taught my grandmother by Sudha Murthy, class 9th, Kaveri. So till now we have studied that the grandmother was very sad because she could not read the new episode of the novel Karamvida, sorry, Kashi Yatra, as the writer, the narrator, her granddaughter, 12-year-old granddaughter, Sudha Murthy, was gone away to the village to attend the marriage. Now when she turns back, so she saw that her grandmother was sad and she could not understand that why her 62-year-old grandmother was sad. Let's begin from here again. I could not understand why my 62-year-old grandmother was telling me, a 12-year-old, the story of her life in the middle of the night. So when the grandmother was sad and she started narrating the story of her life to her granddaughter, so the granddaughter was only 12 years of age. She was surprised. She was taken aback with surprise that what was the use of her grandmother of telling her the story of her life, and that too in the middle of her night. But I knew I loved her immensely. Immensely. Immensely means deeply. New word you have got? Immensely means deeply or extremely. So Sudha Murthy said that, but I knew her, I knew I loved her immensely, and there there had to be some reason why she was talking to me. So Sudha Murthy realized that there must be some reason. That's why the grandmother was talking to her, waking her up in the middle of the night and talking to her, because she loved her so deeply, so she could not ignore her. I looked at her face. It was unhappy and her eyes were filled with tears. So Sudha Murthy saw that her grandmother's face was sad and her eyes were filled with tears. उनकी आंखों में आंसू थे. She was a good looking. She was a good looking lady who was usually always smiling. Good looking means beautiful. Good looking. Beautiful. So good looking for men means handsome and for women means beautiful. She further says that she was a good looking lady who was usually always smiling. Means who always had a smile on her face. Whose face? Grandmother's face. Even today, I cannot forget the worried expression on her face. Sudha Murthy said that even today, she cannot forget the worried expression, the sadness that she witnessed on the face of her grandmother at that time. I leaned. Keep on writing the meanings also. आप लोग इसकी meanings भी लिखते जाइए. ये आपके एग्जाम में काम आएंगे. Leaned. Lean means bent. B-E-N-T, bent. I leaned forward and held her hand. Held her hand means to hold the hand. To console somebody. जब कोई आदमी परेशान होता है, घबराया होता है, तो हम क्या कहते हैं? उसका हाथ पकड़ के ढाढ़स बनाते हैं. ठीक है, like this. So she leaned and held the hand of her grandmother in order to console her. ढाढ़स बनाने के लिए. Ava, don't cry. What is the matter? Can I help you in any way? So she holds the hand of her grandmother and says to her, Ava, don't cry. If there is anything that she could help her, means I could help you out. I hope this was clear to you. इतना clear हो गया, कोई doubt नहीं है. So I am proceeding further. Be attentive. Hmm? Blank. Okay. Yes, I need your help. You know, when you were away, Karmvira. Now, what is Karmvira? Vira, can I ask you? Yes, students. So, Karmvira was that weekly magazine in which the story of Kashi Yatra is to be published episode wise. So, she said that, you know, when you were away, Karmvira came as usual. Means, yes, at its usual time, it came. Every Wednesday, it used to come, no? I opened the magazine. I saw the picture that accompanies means to associate, accompanies means to associate, jurna, that accompanies the story of Kashi Yatra, and I could not understand anything that was written. So the grandmother, in a very complaining manner, in a very sad manner, tells the granddaughter Sudha Murthy that when she was away, so Karvira magazine came as usual, but she could not read anything out. She could not understand anything what was written in that current episode. Though she was curious to know about every new episode, but since she could not read and write and there was nobody to help her out, so that's why she is very sad that there was nobody to read for her, as the narrator was away to the village to attend the marriage, family marriage. Many times I rubbed my hands over the pages, wishing they could understand what was written. So, in desperation, in a very hopeless manner, she just rubbed her hands on the letters, alphabets written on the magazine that she might understand anything. That is desperation sign. But she could not understand anything. But I knew it was not possible. She just only rubbed her hands on the written matter, content, but she could not understand anything. If only I was educated enough, I waited. Sorry, if I was only educated enough. Now, there is again a very important point. If I was only educated enough. Now, the grandmother is repenting, regretting that had she been educated enough, then there would have been no problem. अगर वो पढ़ी लिखी होती तो उन्हें दिक्कत नहीं आती. Now she realizes the importance of education, the importance of independence, self-sufficiency. Now that's she has realized this. So it happens sometimes that we also do not pay attention to our studies, and many of us drop out the school or college. Okay, now there is no need to study, and then later on we realize the fault. So that's why it's very important for you all also to study. Okay, I waited eagerly for you to return. So grandmother further says that she waited eagerly, means curiously. Eagerly means curiously. Eagerly means curiously. So grandmother says that I waited eagerly for you to return. I felt you would come early and read for me. So grandmother says that she felt that the narrator would come early because she had gone for 2 days only. So she realized, she thought that the narrator's granddaughter, that Sudha Murthy, would come early and read out the story for her. I even thought of going to the village and asking you to read for me. I could not have asked somebody in this village, but I was too embarrassed. Embarrassed means ashamed. Embarrassed means ashamed of. Ashamed of. Now, so she said that she thought that she would go to the village directly to the narrator and ask her to read out. But she didn't do that. Then she further said that she could have asked somebody in the village also to read the story for her, but at the same time she was embarrassed. She felt sorry. She felt shy that at that age of 62, how could she ask any other person or any stranger to read the story for her? So that's why she felt embarrassed and did not go to anyone. But still, she was in desperation because there was nobody to read out the story for her. It is just like that. Some favorite TV show or serial or any interview of yours is going to come on the TV, any your favorite program or movie or anything, and at that same time there is a power cut. So that is the embarrassment. I felt very dependent and helpless. So these two words, that the grandmother felt very dependent and helpless. Why? Because she could not read herself. That was helplessness. And dependence. Why? Because there was nobody to read the story for her. That is dependence. And these two things why happened? Because she could not read and write. She did not go to school. We are well off. This is very important word. Well off. Very rich. Very rich. Well off means very rich. So we are well off. But what use is money when I cannot be independent? So the grandmother further says that no matter they were financially sound, there was no money problem. They were rich. But at the same time, that richness was of no use when she could not read and write. She was not educated. So money doesn't mean everything. Education means a lot because education brings independence. We have seen in the story that despite being rich, she was not independent. Independent regarding, like, she could not read and write. She needed somebody to read the story for her. So that she realized at the time when the narrator was not there. So again, a new theme comes out from the story here, that education brings independence, or education leads to independence. एजुकेशन हमें इंडिपेंडेंट बनाती है. Okay, so I hope this part is clear to you. There's no doubt. If there's any doubt, you can ask me. You can put your questions. Okay, so I'll proceed further. Now, the narrator further says, I did not know what to answer. She said that I did not know what to answer. Abba continued. Then again, her grandmother continued. I have decided I want to learn the Kannada alphabet. Means the alphabets of Kannada language, which was spoken in Karnataka. She wanted to learn Kannada alphabet from tomorrow. Tomorrow means the very next day. This shows what? This shows the determination of the grandmother. So sometimes the determination comes out from us due to a sincerity. कि सिंसियर होते तो डिटर्मिनेशन आता है कि हाँ हमें ये काम करना है, हम अपने से डिटरमिनेट होते हैं. बट समटाइम्स our failure or the lackness of something makes a determined. Like here we see that the failure of not being able to read the story and the lackness of education in the life of the grandmother made her determined to learn to read and write regardless of her age. तो कहते नहीं पढ़ने कोई उम्र नहीं होती. So वो हमें यहाँ देखने को मिलता है कि there is no age to learn and write. There is no age to learn, sorry, gain knowledge. I will work very hard. Now she said that she would work really very hard. I will keep Saraswati Puja Day during the Dashera as the deadline. Now here another word comes, deadline. Means final date. Final date. Or last date. So out of her determination, grandmother kept the Saraswati Puja Day during the Dashera as a final day or final date or the deadline to complete her learning of the Kannada alphabet. That day I should be able to read a novel on my own. I want to be independent. So, grandmother says that by that day, she herself decides a deadline that by Saraswati Puja during the Dashera, she would definitely learn the Kannada language. And by that time, she would made herself able enough to read and write. Means she would make herself independent. I saw the determination on her face, yet I laughed at her. Now, this line has a very deep meaning. It's a very depth वाली meaning है. The narrator says that she saw the determination on the face of her grandmother. No matter she was old, but she was determined. But at the same time, the narrator laughed. Why did she laugh? Can you imagine? क्यों हंसी होगी वो? कभी वो होता है ना कि हमारे बड़े, हमारे बुजुर्ग कोई ऐसी सिंसियर बात कहते हैं तो हम हंस देते हैं उस पे. अरे ऐसे ऐसे कैसे होता है? So just like that. So when a 62-year-old lady, or consider that your grandparents 62, 72, like that, of that age, tell that they are going to do something new, achieve something new, then what will you feel? You will also feel like that only. At this age now. So similarly, it happened with the narrator also. She was only 12 years of age, and when she had the grandmother's commitment to learn to read and write by setting a deadline of Saraswati Puja during the Sara time, then she laughed. That how would it be possible? बोलना और होता है, करना और होता है, कैसे possible होगा? And the narrator laughed at her. अब at this age, she mentions, वो mention करती है कि at this age of 62, 62 साल की उम्र, you want to learn the alphabet? Means she shows surprise. ये कैसे possible है? Now you have decided to learn the alphabet at the age of 62. It's too late now. Okay. All your hair is grey. Your hair has turned grey. बाल सफेद हो गए हैं. Your hands are wrinkled. Wrinkle means the skin gets twisted, folds. Wrinkle means folds in the skin. Wait 1 second. Wrinkle means folds in the skin due to old age. Folds or lining you see on the skin of the old age person. She says that you are 62 now, your hair has turned grey, and your hands are wrinkled. You wear spectacles. Now you put spectacles on your eyes. Now in those days, because in olden days, only old people used to wear spectacles. Young people hardly used to wear. ऐसा तब की बात है. Because basically, the people used to be healthy. Only at the old age they required spectacles. Not means not like that in today's era. Even a smaller child is wearing spectacles. So wearing spectacles was considered as a sign of old age, maturity. So she said that your hair is grey, your skin is wrinkled, and your hands are wrinkled, and you wear spectacles, chashma pehna, and you work so much in the kitchen, and you also work so much in the kitchen. How would it be possible for you? Tell me that. कैसे संभव होगा ये? Grandmother. But grandmother, she was determined. See the picture, how the narrator is laughing at her grandmother. Okay. Childishly, I made fun of the old lady. So, in a very childish manner, she made fun of her grandmother. Now, but she just smiled. But grandmother just smiled. In spite of retaliating back, or in spite of arguing with her granddaughter, she smiled. Because she could easily understand the mental condition of her granddaughter, who was just 12 years of age. No matter she was teaching her, she was reading the story for her, she was literate, and grandmother was not literate. But grandmother was more, you can say, uh, she was perfect in worldly affairs. More experience of life she had than her granddaughter. But she smiled. For a good cause, if you are determined, determined means firm. Determined means firm. In the decision. अपने डिसीजन में फर्म होना, अपनी बात पे अडिग होना. So if you are determined, you can overcome any obstacle. Obstacle means hindrance. I'm writing out the meanings also. Hindrance or hurdle. So grammar says that if you are determined, if you are firm in your decision, then you can overcome any hurdle in your life. If you are firm to achieve something, then nobody can stop you. I will work harder than anybody, but I will do it. So grammar says that she would work harder than anybody and would achieve what she had decided. For learning, there is no age bar. Then again, this is again very important. She said that for learning, there is no age bar. Yes, of course, because you don't need to go for a job. If you go for a job interview at the age of 62, then people will laugh at you. But even people go, they are more experienced, they go as an experienced person and they do the job. But for learning, there is no age. The grandmother says that there is no age bar. Age bar means age limit. Age bar means age limit to learn. There is no age limit to learn. Okay. The next day onwards, I hope this part is clear to you all. There's no doubt. Okay. Let's move on. आगे बढ़ते हैं हम लोग. यहाँ तक कर लिया. The next day onwards, I started my tuition, and the very next day. What happened? Again we read. The next day onwards, I started my tuition. Means the very next day. Just उसके दूसरे दिन, the narrator started her tuition. Means she started giving tuition to her grandmother. Abba was a wonderful student. Wonderful. बहुत ही अच्छा. Amazing, we can say. Amazing. AMAZING. Amazing जो हम कहते हैं. Amazing. बड़ा कॉमन सा वर्ड है. उसी को कहते हैं वंडरफुल. एक मिनट बच्चों, लेट मी हैव सम वाटर. Okay. Ava was a wonderful student. The amount of homework she did was amazing. Means she was very hardworking. She used to complete her homework, and lot of homework she used to do, which could not be done by anybody of her age. Means she is working harder beyond her age. She would read, repeat, write, and recite. Means she would read the alphabet, then repeat it, then recite it. Means it's a singing form, and write also. Means reading, writing, listening, speaking, all the skills she used to follow, because she was determined that anyhow, at any cost, she had to become independent, and that was only possible by learning. Money she had, there was no problem regarding money, so she was financially sound, but only the thing which was pinching her, that she could not read and write. That she was compensating now. I was her only teacher and she was my first student. So the narrator says that the granddaughter was her first student. It means that later on also she had taught, yes. Later on she taught in many engineering colleges. Little did I know then that one day I would become a teacher in computer science and teach hundreds of students. There is a branch of CS, no, in engineering, computer science branch. So she taught later as a lecturer and professor in many engineering colleges. The Dashera festival came as usual. Means the Dashera festival arrived on its time. Secretly, I bought Kashi Yatre, which had been published as a novel by that time. Now, secretly means quietly. Yes, this word is here, secretly. Hmm. Secretly, I bought Kashi Yatre, which had been published as a novel by that time. So, in a very secret manner, chupke se, she brought the Kashi Yatra novel because by that time it has published in the form of novel. Earlier, it used to come or it used to publish episode wise in the magazine Karamveera, weekly magazine. Now, by that time, it had been published in the form of a novel, and the writer, the narrator, Sudha Murthy, secretly, without letting anybody know, she brought, she bought that magazine, Kashi Yatre, that novel Kashi Yatre at home. My grandmother called me to the puja place and made me sit down on a stool. Now, that day was Saraswati Puja also. So, the grandmother called her granddaughter Sudha Murthy at the puja place and made her seated on the stool. She gave me a gift of frock material. Frock material means the fabric from which the frock could be made. Girl of 12 years of age wear frocks only. Then she did something unusual. Unusual means strange. Unusual means strange. So after giving the frock material, that frock material was a gift to her teacher, her 12-year-old teacher, a feast you can say, Guru Dakshina. And then she did something unusual. What? She bent down and touched my feet. She bent and touched the feet of the narrator. I was surprised and taken aback. Means extremely surprised. Elders never touch the feet of youngsters. We have always touched the feet of God, elders, and teachers. We consider that as a mark of respect. It is a great tradition, but today the reverse had happened. So, the grandmother touches the feet of her granddaughter Sudha Murthy, considering her as a teacher, as a mark of respect. She touches her feet. But the granddaughter was surprised that why she was touching her feet because she was the grandmother. She was elder to her in relation. But as a teacher, she needed to be respected, and the grandmother paid full respect to her by touching her feet. Because in our tradition, Indian tradition, only three people are to be respected or their feet to be touched: God, elders, and teachers. Elders, in elders category, your parents also fall. And teacher is something which is above God, because teacher carves the way, tells you the path leading to God, leading to truth, leading to success, leading to spirituality. It's a teacher only who guides you with the guide of your life. But nowadays, she said that reverse is happening. Yes, reverse is happening. Nobody respects the teacher, nobody respects the parents, nobody respects the elders. Those days were gone. वो पुराने दिन थे. Yeah, we consider that as a mark of respect. It is a great tradition, but today the reverse had happened. It was not correct. She said, once again, it was not correct. Means she said that it was not correct. The reverse had happened. She said, I am touching the feet of a teacher, not my granddaughter. So she replies that she was grandmother, when the narrator was surprised that why she was touching feet. Then the grandmother says that she is not touching the feet of her granddaughter. There is a teacher in that granddaughter who had taught her the Kannada alphabet. To that teacher, she was touching the feet as a mark of respect, not of her granddaughter. A teacher who taught me so well, with so much of affection, that I can read any novel confidently. Confidently means undoubtedly, without doubt. Undoubtedly. Okay, in such a short period. So she was touching the feet of her granddaughter as a mark of respect, because she had taught to her to read and write in a very short period. That the grandmother could read any novel with full confidence. It is my duty to respect a teacher. And she further said that it was her duty, the grandmother says, that it was her duty to respect the teacher. It is not written in our scriptures that a teacher should be, it is not written in our scriptures that a teacher should be respected irrespective of the gender and age. Is it not written? Is it not written in our scriptures that a teacher should be respected irrespective of the gender and age? Scriptures means holy books or religious books. So the grandmother further says that is it not written in our in our scriptures that a teacher should be respected irrespective, means regardless. Irrespective means regardless. REGARDLESS, regardless of the gender and age. Means no matter of what age and gender the teacher is, but a teacher is a teacher, and a teacher should be respected at any cost, irrespective of any caste, creed, color, gender, age, anything. So she questions her granddaughter that Isn't it all written in our holy scriptures? हमारी धार्मिक ग्रंथों में नहीं लिखा हुआ है ऐसा? Where we come across a lot of rishis and munis granting education to the kings and the prince and all, and getting respect from them. Like Arjuna was the Shishya or student of Dronacharya, or many other examples are there. I did return her namaskara to her by touching her feet and gave my gift of first student and gave my gift to my first student. So she also returned namaskara to her grandmother by touching her feet. Now the narrator also touches the feet of her grandmother as a mark of respect because she was her grandmother. And then she also gives her a return gift, that was what? That novel Kashi Yatra. So grandmother gives the gift of frock material to her granddaughter and touches her feet as a mark of respect for teaching her, for being her teacher. And the granddaughter also touches the feet of her grandmother as a mark of respect for being her grandmother, and then gives her a return gift of the novel Kashi Yatra. She opened it and read immediately. Now the grandmother could read and write. She was confident. So she opened it and started reading. Immediately she started reading with full confidence. Read immediately the title Kashi Yatre by Triveni. Who was Triveni? Again question I'm asking you, I'm questioning you. Triveni was nobody else but the writer, the narrator, the writer of the novel Kashi Yatre, who died at a very young age. She used to write in Kannada language. Very famous author. And the publisher's name was also there. The company, the printing press from where that novel had been published. I knew then that my student had passed with flying colors. Now, Sudhamuti says that she then realized that her student, who was a student? Her grandmother, who had passed with flying colors. Flying color, pass with flying colors means, what does it mean to pass with flying colors? To succeed, very well. To succeed very well. Pass with flying colors means to succeed very well. So this was a story. Now certain questions and exercises are based on it. I think let us do this one. The rest of the part we'll do in the next episode. Okay. In our next class, check your understanding. State whether the following sentences are true or false. Share your answers with your classmates and teacher. The grandmother wanted to learn the Kannada alphabet to gain independence. Yes or no? Yes? Yes, of course. The grandmother wanted to gain independence by learning the Kannada alphabet so that she could not have to rely on anybody else to read for her. True. And that she realized when her granddaughter was away. The grandmother asked someone in the village to read Kashi Yatre to her while the narrator was away. Did she do that? Just remember the text. She thought of asking anybody, but she felt embarrassed and stopped herself. So no, she never asked anybody to read Kashi Yatre for her. The grandmother asked someone in the village to read Kashi Yatre to her while the narrator was away. No, false. False. I hope you are understanding and doing along with me, children. Keep on doing it, and please make a note of everything, whatever I am telling you. It's very important. The narrator was grandmother's first teacher and taught her how to read Kannada. इज इट ट्रू? क्या सच है कि जो नरेटर थी वो उसकी फर्स्ट टीचर थी उसकी ग्रैंड मदर की? यस, एंड शी टॉट अ कन्नड़ टू रीड. ओके, उसके बाद क्या करते हैं हम लोग? द ग्रैंड मदर बिलीव्ड दैट देयर वाज नो एज लिमिट फॉर लर्निंग. क्या ग्रैंड मदर का ऐसा मानना था कि पढ़ने की, सीखने की कोई उम्र नहीं होती? सही, करेक्ट, ट्रू. ओके बच्चों, कम ऑन, पे अटेंशन हियर. द ग्रैंडमदर touched the narrator's feet as a mark of respect for her as a teacher. क्या ग्रैंडमदर ने अपने ग्रैंड डॉटर का पैर छुआ रेस्पेक्ट शो करने के लिए एज अ टीचर कि उसकी टीचर थी? यस, ट्रू और फॉल्स? यस, ट्रू. द नरेटर, लास्ट वन, द नरेटर वाज डिसअपॉइंटेड. एंग्री, परेशान होना, गुस्सा करना. द नरेटर वाज डिसअपॉइंटेड with the progress her grandmother made in learning to read. Means the narrator became angry, disappointed when seeing the progress of her grandmother. क्या अपनी ग्रैंडमदर की प्रोग्रेस देख करके नरेटर को गुस्सा आ रहा था? ऐसा था? ऐसा तो नहीं था. शी वाज एक्सट्रीमली हैप्पी. सो इट्स फॉल्स. इट्स फॉल्स. सो बच्चों, we'll do it till here. Rest of the part, there are more exercises which we'll do next time. So till here only we'll do, and I hope that you like the class. Keep on liking and sharing it. And if you have any query, any doubt, you can put it for the next session, and I'll definitely sort it out. But go through the story from the beginning. See the if you have not attended the previous videos, then watch it. Prepare yourself. Solve the exercises which I have solved with you. And in case of any doubt, any query, then come to the next class and ask me. I'm always there to help you out in case of any problem. So hope you like the video. Keep on liking and sharing it. So I'm signing off now. So thank you. हेलो जी भैया, नमस्ते. नहीं, थोड़ा निकले भैया, बताएं. भैया 79.5 मतलब 80%. नहीं, मैथ्स तो वैसे भी ली हुई थी वो ह्यूमैनिटीज से. नहीं, साइंस बहुत अच्छे नहीं आए उसके. साइंस में लगभग वही 59% तक आए हैं. अब पता नहीं उस समय. जी भैया. हाँ भैया. ठीक भैया, ठीक. अच्छा, नमस्ते भैया. हाँ रिशु जी, क्लास खत्म हो गई ना ये वाली। हाँ एंड यहाँ पे कर दिया है, स्ट्रीमिंग हमने कर दिया है, बट ठीक है, आइए। ठीक है ना, क्या लाइव चल रहा था क्या?